Craving something different than your typical love story? Well, good news! When hearts collide, age is just a number. Except for illegal stuff. FBI! Wait! I have a license! They never learn. Good morning, good evening, afternoon, or good night. It is me, Jovial. Today, we're diving into the world of age gap romances, where hearts defy expectations, social stigmas, and social norms. Because, why not? Get ready for forbidden feelings, emotional roller coasters, and must-pick recommendations. Let's dive on in, shall we? You can go skip ahead if you don't want to be bored by the important criteria and details needed to determine on what goes on the list. To start, we're not gonna include couples, ships, or main love interests or love interests in general that are 4 years apart and younger. So 5 and up are gonna be on the list. Every entry will have either short or medium-sized explanation to why they are picked on the list. I'm kinda confused on how to approach this video. I have this many that I could put in the video, but they are too long for one video. So I'm gonna pick some first so that I could make part 2 and part 3 of this video. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with this list. Am I gonna pick the best one in, or I'm gonna put not the best ones in, so that you could come back and see if I have released the best ones on my list or not. So I'm doing some mind games on making you guys comment for part 2, making you want for part 2, because I'm not gonna reveal if I'm gonna bring out the best, the not so best, or mix. I'm not gonna tell. Mind games, baby. Part 2 will definitely come if you either subscribe or donate so I can make better videos. Links in the description below. You can also skip ahead if you don't want to hear my opinions on age gaps, on how big the gaps are fine. I don't have a nice graphic to show you, but I have read a lot of manga and watched a lot of animes, and some of them include some age gaps, and some of them are specifically centered around those age gaps. And in my conclusion, here is the green zone or the safe zone, and it's 0 to 7 years. Those are the ones that we should not bat an eye. No one will care if you're 0 to 7 years apart in age. No one will care, no one should care, because they are safe. The lighter green zone or the zone that is next to yellow, that is kind of okay, we're going somewhere, are 8 to 10. They're not that questionable, but they're still safe, the 8 to 10 years gap. The yellow zone would be 11 to 12. We're getting into some territories that are getting dangerous. 11 to 12, we're getting close to some dangerous territories. The orange zone, 13 to 15, that is almost dangerous and still questionable, and some context may be needed to how you got in a relationship in the first place. And the red zone, 15 plus, 15 and above, we need all the context for that. Everything. That will be the basis, or whether or not you should be together in the first place. All the context. Your relationship will base the context that you will give us. If you're in the red zone, 15 plus, that's dangerous territory. Personal opinion aside, let's go with the first entry of this list, Toaro Tenin Tokyako no Hanashi. I have mentioned this series before. This will be a call to action to watch one of my previous videos, specifically this videos about entry-level picks for new manga readers, because I have talked about this series in particular, and this is one of the entries for that video, and I have somewhat extensively talked about this one. So you should watch it there, my explanation for why I would recommend this series. But if I'm gonna have to talk about some things on this video, it will be cute and awkward relationship, but still enjoyable, and I would recommend it, especially for new readers. The second entry for this list is a bit of a weird one, because the second entry of this list is all of 14 Sai no Koi's spin-off series. There's a series named 14 Sai no Koi, or Love at 14, and the main couple of this series are both 14. They're middle schoolers, and it's kind of revolved around them, but the characters around them though. 14 Sai no Koi has 3 spin-off series: Harmony, Reliance, and Game Over, where the talks of age gap enters. Game Over's main couple ship has a 12-year gap, if I remember correctly, at least somewhere around those lines. And Harmony, I don't know actually how big of a gap they have. I'm guessing somewhere around 12 to 16 to 18, 12 to 18. That's, I'm guessing, the part on Harmony. And Reliance, we haven't had enough chapters to determine what the story will be, but I'm guessing it will either be a Yuri love story or an age gap series. The Reliance is a bit of a blur because we don't have enough chapters to determine what the story's conclusion with the romance part of it will gonna be, but the other two are sure and confirmed, almost, if I'm right, if I remember the facts correctly. Next entry on this list is My Boy in Blue. Long story short, the story is about a 16-year-old high schooler girl and a 23-year-old policeman with a 7-year age gap, so they're safe, but kind of weird to think about it. One of the better reads that I have read so far this year on April or March, but I recommend it highly because of nice storytelling. I don't want to talk too much about this one because I would rather you guys read it rather than me explain it. So let's move on number 4. With a huge question mark in it because of one thing. It never got an anime adaptation despite it already primed to have one. When I first read it, I thought it had an anime adaptation around the time of Maid-sama because the manga was made at around that time. It should have been with Special A and Maid-sama side to side around that era, but I don't know why it didn't get one. And that would be Kiss Yori mo Hayako. Let me read you the synopsis. Losing their parents, Fumino and her brother hop from one relative to another. Getting tired of all those movings, she finally decides to quit school and work to support her brother on her own. As they sat on a park bench, her teacher appears in front of her and agrees to her demanding of marrying and supporting both of her and her brother. Is he serious or just playing around? Kinda shallow start, but it gets deep, like real deep. And the only thing that I could talk about is why did it not get an anime adaptation? Just like I did on that video also on manga that did not have an anime adaptation. I also put this in there, so be sure to watch that video also. Other than amazing story, I would read it again in the future. I've got nothing much to add except read it. I'm gonna be kind of specific for the next one because the next pick is Bokuben or We Never Learn. And if you don't want to be spoiled by the series, skip this part immediately because it is one of the best series that I have read of all time. Kind of nostalgic if I'm gonna be honest with you, even though I've started reading it on 2021. And if you've watched that series, I think you know where I'm going with this one. So final warning, spoiler alert, we're gonna go with that route. It's gonna be a weird pick, but we're going with that route. The Queen of Thin Ice. We're going with that. And because it's, you know, it's hard to talk without giving away spoilers, but because it's kind of a weird pick, if we gotta be honest, but I want something to pad this list while not giving away the other ones. So let's go with the next one. Let's go with number 6, which is Aikage-kun to Shiroshe Gohan. I'm gonna read the synopsis. Nagisa, an office worker, ends up almost living together with Hiro, a long-distance driver. Food tastes better than the usual with Aikage-kun and his big appetite. The casual time they spend together begins to color their days. A heartwarming story about a 30-something office worker and a younger man almost living together. The series has ended, but the English translation has not, so I haven't completed it because it's not completed yet in English. But as the synopsis said, it is a heartwarming story, a cute story about the two and them liking food. It mostly involves food, and it also has some stories and some character developments of some sorts, but it's mostly a romance slice of life that kinda involves food. So watch it. Read it, just read it. And I'm gonna end the video with number 7 with kind of a troll pick, and it would be Tonikawa Kawaii. I know some of you are confused right now. Why did I pick Tonikawa Kawaii? There's no age gap. If that's what you're thinking, then you either only watched the anime or haven't read that far in the manga. I don't want to give spoilers this time, no spoiler warning, but if you know, you know. Tonikawa Kawaii is included here. In a technicality. Tonikawa Kawaii is number 7 on the last entry of this list. In a technicality. I'm not gonna spoil anymore. I'm not gonna mention anything more. So that's it for me for this video. Please donate so I can make better videos in the future. See y'all next time. Peace and God bless y'all. Love y'all.